What's up, y'all? You're listening to For All Nerds Show, and on this episode, we talk about Daredevil Born Again, Episode 5, where they do a very smooth imitation of the film Inside Man. And what's up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of the For All Nerds Show. It's your boy, DJ Ben Amin, a.k.a. El Diablo Abogado, a.k.a. Matt Murder, a.k.a. Satan Solicitor, here in the spaceship tonight. And as always, I'm joined by
Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as Sean Jean-Luc Picard, Jay Prince of All Saiyans, Dr. Doing Something Strange for Some Change, Tesseract Thompson, the Book of Ashanti, and Doc Aki.
There we go. And as you heard by my AKA Satan Solicitor, especially, we are back to review episode 5, Daredevil, Born Again. Off top, I'm going to say this. This was actually one of my favorite episodes so far. And I just, honestly, I wish the show had more episodes like this so far, where it's just a one-off episode, not involving the larger story, not involving a subplot or anything, and just Matt Murder.
Murder. You wish more episodes like this in a season, or just this happen more often in series in general?
In this season, and well, no, in series in general, and I think it could use maybe one or two more of these even in this season. But this also goes into the other problem that I'm feeling that I don't know yet, because I haven't seen all of the episodes just yet. I don't know how they're gonna wrap this up. If it's starting to get that feeling, man, like where, maybe this isn't gonna be. And there's a lot of reasons behind that, right? We've discussed this before, how the original showrunners were fired or left. New showrunners came in, they reworked a lot of it. We talked about last week how it's really the first and second episodes and the last episodes that were really reworked the most. And so that Foggy and Karen were always probably going to be written off the show. They were, Foggy was already going to be killed, and Karen was to be mourning for him, and that's why you just wouldn't have seen it. So they reworked it probably where you did see it. But then we have these middle episodes that were, a lot of the stuff from the old showrunner. And so the new showrunner had to deal with that and deal with a lot of things. So I think maybe season 2 of Born Again might be where we finally see what, this team can do, and, how they do it and how they pull it off. Because
I have several questions, though.
Yeah.
Well, one, you started off with, I don't know how they're going to wrap this up, B.
Yeah.
The first question to that is, what is there to wrap up?
No, that is true, because we are dealing with a show that someone at Marvel said they want to do infinite seasons of Daredevil.
So even in the way that this season has been structured,
we don't need infinite seasons of Daredevil, fam.
You know what? I wouldn't be mad about it, to be honest. They need some type of anchor, and as long as it's at least grade B and above, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
If you can have infinite seasons of The Walking Dead, why can't you have infinite seasons of Daredevil? So that's that.
Why not? You're right.
Why
there
not?
You go. There you
Back
go.
to the original question about what is there to wrap up. Like,
Shots fired.
Not like there's.
Wait a minute. I just was talking to Mello last night, and I said I had said shots fired since 2018, and now I did.
That is kind of old.
No, it came up in Split Fiction, and I was like, I could never say that again. And he said, well, you ain't said it since 2018 anyway, but, there we go.
When you think about how this season has been structured, what is there to wrap? Like, besides Muse, like, what are we wrapping? Like,
yeah, because we ain't wrapping Kingpin.
There is no wrapping of Kingpin. There is no wrapping of Matt Murder, right? Like, to me, what this series, at least its first season of the Infinite Seasons, represents is a reborn. It's reborn, right? Reincarnation, right? It's the
Reboot.
Figurative and literal. The literal being the reboot. It's the reboot of what all the shit we saw on Netflix onto a new place. It's also from a figurative perspective, you see Matt running away from who he really is. No, my nigga, use Daredevil, stay there. And this nigga Wilson Fisk, no, you is not Mayor Adams. You got to become, you know who you are. You's a thug, okay? It's like they're the same core people, but in different way. They're being reborn back into their ministry, if you will. So I feel like that's what this shit is about. So it's an open-ended story about them, their personal struggles, them, and I should be a fucking PR expert for this. It's about their struggles as people, it's about their struggles against each other, it's about their struggles against the world, it's about them fighting their inner demons, their outer demons, their inner and the outie. Like these people at the end of the day are nuts. And you really, it's like, to me, it's a class on psychological motivations and determinations and all this other stuff, and all the Asians. Like, that's what this shit is about. It ain't about no one storyline. And maybe it will be next season, but right now I don't feel like it is. So that's why I'm just like, wrap up what?
No, I feel you. And you're right. And that's what I keep forgetting whenever I think about, this show wrapping up its storylines, because it ain't.
It's not. They are purposely being mad vague. And I actually kind of do like them playing around, because I also feel like part of the reason why they're going this way is because they have, as a production, they have plot armor. Like Daredevil, Marvel is holding on the devil for dear fucking life. Like, as they're trying to rebuild the MCU and stuff like that, this is the one where people still behind them 1,000,000%, and they did good out the gate with the first 2 episodes. So people, us included, we was just like, yo, they got it, they back. Ah, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna hold on to this until the wheels fall off, because what else do they have that's mad strong besides all the old shit? Right?
And the question there, though, is, right, okay, this week I was checking out how all the ratings, and they're saying that this is below or around the same level as Alkalite, which was, unceremoniously canceled. Below Agatha All Along. Which people acted like wasn't a hit. And, on the same level as some other stuff. They said the first episodes did wellish, but it was still below, like, Agatha. So
how have they promoted this show? Where's the promotion?
Massive amount of commercials, ad space.
Before, is it still ongoing?
I think
the
so.
lead up, they was going crazy. But like right now, is there still continued push?
I don't know.
Or is it just what they do with most Disney Plus shit? It's just like, the shit is out.
Yeah,
every Wednesday. It's like,
yeah,
that's not the fair. I don't know.
But what else do they have to push so far? That's the thing. It's like they can't be like, watch Foggy get hot pocketed. They can't.
Oh, they better come up with something. Call Olivia Pope, come fix this shit, because ain't no
watch
way.
Kingpin and Daredevil, avoid being who you want to see them
not
be.
Not even that. Just like how we were extolling the virtues of the first 2 episodes, why is they not leaning into that? You can keep, this shit is street. This shit is hood. This nigga is beating the bricks off these motherfuckers every week. Every week. That's not a lie.
This is true.
He folded that nigga like a lawn chair.
He folded mad people in this episode.
Got back up. How the fuck did that happen? Understand? Like, to me, yes, there may not be no one overarching story like, oh, guess what happens next? But the heart remains. And that is consistent every fucking episode.
Yeah.
So why are they not leaning to that? I'm not saying there's no promotion. I just personally have not been inundated like I thought I would be for something that was supposed to be as big as they expected. Like, I'm expecting anytime I'm in a fucking subway, I'm gonna see a fucking ads. I'm on the train damn near every day. Where are the ads?
That's the thing.
I mean, I don't be on Twitter. No, not Twitter. Yeah, Twitter. I don't be on X no more. Whatever the fuck. Are they running ads there? Like, where is this stuff? Is it on TikTok? I don't see no ads. I be on TikTok all day. I don't see nothing on that hoe.
All right. Well, this is the thing. The bean counters know. Like, they've counted the beans already. Before the show came out, they knew how much, ratings the old Netflix got. They knew what it was. And Daredevil has never been, while it's been crucial to us and crucial to its fans, it's never been a Game of Thrones. It's never been a Stranger Things.
You're right. But it's always been talked about. And I don't know if this is being talked about.
7 years ago. Remember that. That's the other crazy thing that we forget. I just realized that yesterday when I was reading up about it. It was 7 years since season 3.
God damn.
Yes. So yeah.
Well, that's
That
a
being said,
disappointing to hear. I did not know it was under Agatha all along. So I can't say I'm surprised. It's just I just don't feel, and maybe I'm in the wrong spaces, but I'm like, we are the space too. So I don't feel the energy behind it.
no, that's what I'm saying. Every week it's like, okay, new episodes out. And that's the other thing. I don't feel the energy from our audience and from the general, nerd space. It's been like, okay, these episodes are out cool. We hyped the Daredevil was back those first two, but now that we on episode 5, it's been like, okay, the show is, it's there.
I'm about to look up something like I just like this niggas talking about it. Like you know what? And that's another thing. This is not because you mentioned this not being on a level of like a Game of Thrones or anything like that. People are not live tweeting it.
No.
At least not to the, and not saying no one's not doing it. I'm just saying
Yeah.
to the extent of it to really be a critical, critical, but public hit.
No, but it also beyond Foggy, taking them hot pockets. There just there hasn't been a moment yet. Fist beating up on, or eating in front of Adam, whatever. And that shit ain't, that there has not been another water cooler moment, as they used to say.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't know.
They've been solid episodes, but it's just been,
well,
it's been a lot of, and that's the other thing that people are pointing out. It's been the Matt avoiding the call, the avoid the call storyline, which is a common trope, is going on.
You think that's whack?
No, it's just
drag.
Stretched them out,
They dragged it. Okay.
Yeah, they're dragging it. They damn sure dragging it. My man put on the suit, in episode 4, and then in this episode, we still don't see the man in the suit. I mean, I get it, the situation was, but he
can just jump out like,
no, I know.
Like Kool-Aid Man surprise, nigga.
Yeah, the situation was what it was. Yeah, and he still did the Daredevil shit throughout this episode.
Right.
Yeah.
To that point on this episode, I really enjoyed it. I liked the levity of the episode because we had some real, like, especially the previous episode, some real depressing ass shit go down for the first 4 episodes. Dark. Yeah. And they reminded you that this man is for the streets, in the streets, of the streets.
Yep.
Like for all this time. And I was just like, wow, but this was good to have, like, even some stuff that's a lot of things tongue in cheek happened in this episode. And then again, just a lighter tone that I appreciated. And of course, I like the whole reminding everyone that this nigga's part of the MCU.
Yes.
Let's do something that reminds you. It's something not covert, but direct.
Yeah.
Hey, these are
heavy-handed even.
Heavy-handed even, right? These people are in the same universe. I am going to push you in front of a character from the same universe that's across the water from the same universe. Yep. They were heavy-handed as hell. When I watched this back, the first 11 minutes, I was like, okay.
Yeah. And here's my Miss Marvel Funko Pop. Custom made.
It was cute.
Buy Miss Marvel Funko Pops now.
It was cute the first
available
time
now.
Right. I was like, oh, hee. But then like, again, after the second watch, I was like, okay, wait a minute.
Slow down, man. Slow down. It's feeling a little thick in here.
Shout out to Mohan Kapoor reprising his role as Kamala Khan's father, Yusuf Khan. Yes. I forgot. Let me tell you, when he first came on, I didn't know who he was. Like his face, I didn't. His face, I didn't immediately remember him.
Yeah.
It took me a minute, and I was just like, "Why does he look familiar?" Oh
shit.
Yeah. So
I
liked how they. Right. Did he always work at a bank?
I think.
Or did they Trojan horse that? Like,
I guess
I mean, it's very easy to like, what's that called? Retrofit. Retroactively put somebody in, but like, I was just like, was that always established?
I'm pretty
or did they
sure.
Make that up?
I don't think they would just add that in. But at the same time, who the hell
why
knows?
Not?
Yeah, why not?
They made it sure to tell you, I live in Jersey City. It's not that far from where we are now. Let's jump on a PAD train. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
He's like, if you're wondering why I'm in Manhattan,
right. Are you talking to Matt?
Why I don't work in the Jersey bank,
know? Why are you? Right. Yeah. But that's like every New Jersey person.
Yes.
I fuck with the fact that they still kept it realistic. Matt went in that fucking bank for a loan, and Yusuf was like, "Nah, You ain't got the credit. You ain't got the funds. You
Think
ain't
he
got the
felt good
backing.
about doing it to a white man?
Ooh.
You know?
Ooh.
Or did he feel bad because he was
Because he's blind?
visually impaired? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
No.
mean, who knows?
And that was Yusef. He was like an acting manager at that point, right? Like he wasn't the manager. He's the normal manager.
Yeah.
He's assistant bank manager. That's what he is.
I don't think it was, Yusef's call to turn him down for one. I think Yusef was just there to relay the bad news.
But that nigga said no 10 times, basically. So no matter what Matt said, it is what it is. I do like though how this ended up into being like a classic bank heist, bank robbery situation. For my understanding, the people who robbed the bank, aren't those the same Russian niggas or Middle Eastern niggas? Not Middle Eastern. Oh
they were Irish.
Yes, thank you. I was gonna say European, not Middle Eastern. The same European guys that were ordered to pay the 1.8 million. Is that the same people?
Well, they were Irish. I thought the 1.8. I think so, though. I think you're right. They were definitely robbing the bank because of Kingpin.
Right.
And they said this fat dude ain't. We gonna get the money and F the fat man.
Okay, because that was the group. Like for whatever they did wrong. That's when he said, because it was Vanessa's idea. She said, tell them to pay 1.8 million.
Yeah. Yes.
And everybody be square. So
yeah. I think they were
like
robbing.
That was the reason.
Yeah, they were robbing Kingpin. They were trying to take Kingpin's money in that situation. I don't think they were robbing to pay him. I think they were actually stealing his shit.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, fam? It is I, Tatiana King, and I want y'all to know that I need you to do me a favor. Please share this show. You're listening to us, you're watching us, but you're gatekeeping. And I don't understand why you're doing that. I really need you to share with your friends, share with your mama, share with your cousin, share with everybody. Because if you're like me, you love to share the joy. And it's really important that you do that. So please tell people about For All Nerds. I love you.
I think
so what was that gem situation about?
I think that's the Kingpin's gem. I don't know. Yeah.
It was just some random jewel that they decided they knew was in there?
I guess. I'm not,
That doesn't really track, but
yeah, that part. So they rushed in the bank yapping, and they said something about the fat man, and then from there they, went on in, and I was more concerned about the bank and what was going on. I'm sure it'll pay off or not in a future episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like you said, as far as the whole bank robbery, the heist, everything, I liked it. I liked the fact it was, once again, a little convenient. It's just like, when it was Latvia Day, everyone just happens to be Latvian. When it's St. Patrick's Day, everyone just happens to be Irish.
Right.
Yeah, it's like suddenly because I don't remember any of the gangsters being Irish. Maybe I just didn't hear it before, but these dudes came in, like blimey, or whatever Irish people say. I don't know,
Well, why?
Yeah.
And why was they? And then all the Irish jokes.
Yeah, it was like whatever stereotypical. We got a solicitor here, it's just like ridiculous. I'm like, oh, okay, you're Irish. I get it.
Matt is of Irish origin.
Yes,
right?
Matt is Irish. Yes. Matt is Irish.
To remind us about his father and his peoples.
Yes, and his being a Catholic and all that type of thing. So,
which is weird.
That's part of Daredevil. That is like,
I know
Daredevil being Catholic is a pure, you're constantly reminded of it. Yeah.
I know. I've seen those panels. I've seen those. But just the way they did it here, it just seemed a bit like, okay, I get it, guys.
I mean, this whole episode was a bit heavy-handed. It was entertaining, but
it was entertaining.
Yes,
but so I do like. Just to get back to the entertaining side of things, I do enjoy how they really and this is from a writing perspective, they really did fantastic ways to stretch and really illustrate the level of Matt's or Daredevil's powers, quote unquote, right? So like him using hearing alone to fucking open a bank vault, that shit was fire. That shit was fucking fire.
Yeah,
I never knew like characters when they make them do new shit with the powers they've always had. You're just like, I never thought that they would apply that in that way.
Yep.
They did that here. I like that.
No, Daredevil, especially, I think it's Wade, Mark Wade. He did a run on Daredevil where it's more like this episode where it wasn't such like normally the runs on Daredevil gets his ass beat every fight he gets in, and how bad you beat up Daredevil is your mark as a writer, pretty much. what shit you put him through. But Mark Waid did a different type of run where it was more lighthearted type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was fighting more, it was more Marvel related, where he was fighting more like not just street people. Like he fought Claw in one run, 1-3 episode, and Claw deals with sound and has sound as a weapon. So it was a really ill fight and a really ill, like 3 issues where Matt had to deal with somebody who is very powerful comparatively to Matt. And because not the Claw from the MCU, Claw in the comics is a whole different beast. He a monster, you know what I mean? He ain't somebody to be trifled with. And, he's way above Matt in power level. Like he's made of sound.
Oh yeah, you got to be above Matt in power.
Yeah.
That's his only end.
Yeah, like the dude is made of sound energy, and can control sound, can make sound monsters. He's a different, like he's Green Lantern like type shit.
He's different. Okay.
Yeah, he's different.
Right.
So yeah. But that's what I'm saying. This episode reminded me of that when people do that version of Daredevil, where it's showing that Daredevil, even though he is a street dude, he does have powers, and his powers, when applied right, can handle a lot of different situations.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was giving, again, just they did very well to stretch that and show how you can, as mentioned, apply his powers in different ways. I really like that they kind of added in some Ocean's 11 type shit in there with the passing off of the jewel and this and that and making it look like someone took it, the sleight of hand, all that magic shit. Like I that was clever, and that's what also lent to the entertainment factor of this episode.
Shout out to Spike Lee, because it definitely reminded me of Inside Man.
Oh yeah, that's very much Inside Man. Yeah.
This whole episode felt like a tribute. It felt like they even had some of the same shots from Inside Man. I'm not sure if that was the same bank, but it might have been, because even when like the squad cars pulled up outside, I was like, hold up, this feels like the same joint, because I love Inside Man. And also that was the actor who plays Rose from The Last Jedi, right? No?
You talking about Detective Angie Kim.
Oh, that's not her? Where do I know her from?
I want to say no, but I'm going to look her up really quick. But her character's name is Detective Angie Kim. She's been in like Black Mirror and stuff. Her name is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Rubo Chan or Rubo
No,
Khan?
that is not the woman who plays Rose.
No, it's not. I mean, she looks completely different.
Has she been in
she's been
Daredevil
in
before?
I could look, but
I was like, because it felt like when she showed up, she felt familiar.
She felt familiar to you?
Yeah.
Well, I thought we just saw her in an earlier episode.
We did?
I thought that because
Okay,
I felt familiarity too, but I was like,
Okay.
that's just because we've seen her before.
Yeah, maybe she was on.
She has been in Black Mirror. She's been in Orange is the New Black.
No, it would have come up.
Mozart in the Jungle. She's been on Jessica Jones.
There it is.
She was in one episode as a character named May.
Oh, well, not even as the same character? Damn.
No.
Oh, damn. Well, then no. Yeah. So, no, I thought she'd shown up before as, Detective Kim.
I apologize. I know I butchered her name. I want to say her name properly.
Yeah, well, at least you didn't confuse her with another person, so.
But, okay. I'm not going to say anything about that, but I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you about Detective Kim. No, was she going to be relevant to something later? Or was it just because of this episode? Like,
I never heard of
they
her
keep
name
focusing
before.
on his people, just like they focusing on Miss Latvia, Sophia, the last one.
I promise ain't coming back.
And I'm like, are we ever going to see these people again?
I don't think so. I think this is a one-off. If Detective Kim didn't show up before, I doubt she's going to show up again. If this one straight up played another character before, I doubt it. Yeah. No. Sadly. Once again, unless, we talk about the infinite seasons, and they return, in season 2. The Latvian, I don't know why.
Latvian princess.
No, because like a lot of that, okay, especially that, I feel like that was left over from that, the original, when they wanted to do more of a courtroom drama. Because what happened to the prosecutor who's like, I'm going to unleash hell on you for pulling this stunt, Matt Murdock?
Right. See, that's the only... And
that man vanished.
Shit.
Well,
I'm afraid of this.
This is only this episode, Maybe they return in 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe. But we have a lot of other things to deal with, so I don't see why they would, other than him unleashing hell on Matt Murdock.
Rubo Shan, I think. Shan. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but Matt Murdock ain't Matt Murdock ain't worried about that. He got high powered money over there at his firm. He good.
Right. So you gave them not credit. You gave them a plus on this episode generally because you like that it was a standalone, self-contained episode.
I just have to accept that, this is also, when you're dealing with that, you have to accept that you have to be ready for infinite seasons and no big payoff at the end of this one.
Well, let's explore that because I don't know if I have much more to say about this episode, but I'm curious.
It was good. It was great.
But I'm curious what you say. What is going to be the big payoff for this? Like, it's not Muse.
No, definitely ain't Muse.
It can't be. And the reason why I say it's not Muse is because I don't see it for Muse in that way. So that's not the big payoff for me. So
I'm trying to make Muse happen.
Yes. What is it? Besides what I said at the beginning, which was it's not about payoff. It's about the lessons we've learned along the way. Like
Muse is not fetch. And that's the problem. We have not learned any goddamn lessons. The only thing we've learned is Marvel wanted to make more Daredevil. Because that's my thing. It's like this season, because it feels jumbled, it doesn't feel like there's a through line other than avoiding being Daredevil and avoiding being Kingpin. Which
you feel like the season's jumbled now, or you felt like that from the beginning?
I started to feel like that with the last episode, and then with this episode, yes. Because even though I've really enjoyed this episode, having only known that there's 6, 7, 8, 9, FOMO, we've already done 5, and I feel like we're kind of like, where are we going with this? Muse, the big new threat? I don't think so. Like, like Muse making it past this season, maybe they'll, make me care about this dude, And then the other thing is, where are we going in general? Daredevil and Kingpin avoiding being Daredevil and Kingpin, which I really feel that we had to have seen that at some point in those other 3 seasons.
I don't know if we have. Well, I don't recall if we have. But
man, that nigga never wanted to be Daredevil. He like Jon Snow out here.
In the beginning, I don't want it. I get it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do like the character search and the character acting between the two. So I'm okay with it. Even if this was done before, I'm okay with it.
I'm not mad at it. That's the thing. We say this every week. They do such a fantastic job that I could watch them do anything. I was listening to our episode last week. We were talking about, watching John Barenthal read the phone book. It would be great. Charlie Cox, Vincent, down the line. Everybody they've cast pretty much, especially the old school. I really am missing my girl, Karen right now.
What was she, besides just that you just think she's hot, like what are you missing from her?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm not trying to be funny. Like, no, I like her as a character, but like, what would she have? Again, not her as an actor or anything like that. There's just no disrespect. But Karen being there, besides, I guess, another additional heart of the series, her inclusion would have done what for?
I really don't know. You're right, because that's the thing. Cherry is doing the job she did.
Right.
Playing the investigator, and I like Cherry.
And then you got the new girl, the new lawyer partner.
Yeah, playing Foggy.
Who playing basically.
Yep. So. And
homegirl that I just realized from Severance, because I just, started watching Severance.
Yep, yeah. It took me a second, honestly. I was watching like 2 episodes of Daredevil. I was like, where do I know this woman from? And then I'm like, oh my God, I know this woman, like, of course. But not much. And I was of the camp who, when, Foggy caught the Hot Pockets, I, made jokes about it, obviously. I did not care. Like, I don't care now.
It didn't affect anything. And I think, I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to say these characters are throwaway. I'm just trying to be realistic about the fact that you said it, infinite seasons, not necessarily a big wrap up or payoff.
Mm-hmm.
So people can be thrown in and out like Marvel versus Capcom. Like, it is what it is. That's how they doing it. That's how they playing it.
Yeah, maybe Karen returns in season 2 for like, a big arc.
And there's plenty of material in the comics to pull from. Like, they could go places with this. And I just feel like this I've said this before. Daredevil is their anchor right now in the MCU.
Yes.
Besides Doctor Strange, that is their main anchor, and they are going to connect as many things to it as possible. We just fucking have Miss Marvel connect, her father connect. You got all these other motherfuckers connect. Like randomly White Tiger, right? And whatever potentially White Tiger connections we have from the books, that's gonna connect. Like,
I have a bad feeling about White Tiger.
I don't know.
I mean, I just feel like I don't know. Maybe hopefully they do, do the storyline with his niece taking along, but the actor they have is so young that unless she, kicks it with Miss Marvel, maybe.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, they made it clear where in the timeline they are, where Earth, what city, who's around in that city, so we can connect some dots pretty easily about who else is in New York or the new tri-state area at that same time.
Well, there's definitely Spider-Man. It's just nobody knows who the fuck he is.
It's so many people. Wilson hates them all, so they're all there, and we still have yet to see Frank Castle come out sewers like Master Splinter. What happens then?
Is Bullseye gonna get out of prison?
Dexter.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
This man is like,
I just can't not believe that he's alive. Like,
Fire Marshal Bill over here.
If there's no adamantium going on, I don't understand how he made it out of there, but whatever.
I'm so mad that they really broke this man's back twice. Like, they really just forget about the old Daredevil. In that one, they really did forget that the last season ended with this man on the operating table.
He's a crash test dummy.
He's Fire Marshal Bill over here. Let me show you something.
Yeah. But that's all I got about episode 5. I would give it a thumbs up. It's very enjoyable. We said what we said. I don't know about you.
No, that's very enjoyable. Very solid, like I said, I like the tribute to, Ocean's 11, Inside Man type movies. This really felt like Inside Man, and that's one of my favorite films. So, great episode. And, Charlie doing that action, breaking them dudes down, breaking the gun apart, all that type of shit. I love that.
All that shit is fire.
I love it. I love when heroes break guns apart. Like when Bruce Wayne did it, I loved it. When he did it in this episode, I just always love that.
When they on their juggernaut, your weapons cannot harm me.
Yeah, and I don't even, and like they just when they just disassemble the shit, I don't need this, because normally like, oh, get the gun, and
yeah.
That
reminds me that I lied. I do have one more thing to share.
Mm-hmm.
How Matt played homeboy in the stairwell, just like, I got to go to the bathroom. Can you come with me? Like that whole thing, and then just trying to keep him quiet while fighting. That's why I'm like, how can you not promote this show properly? The show
that scene was fire. That scene, they could show that. Yeah,
show that. What heroes are doing that right now?
When my man did the lean back to catch the joint,
like all of that. Like you are actively melee fighting while falling in a loud ass stairwell, trying to be quiet. Meanwhile, you need Sahir to know what's going on because you can't see. And there's niggas getting hostage upstairs. Like, that's pressure.
Yeah.
That's what you need to be showing the people out here in the streets. Look at the pressure this nigga is on every fucking episode and how he gets himself out of it. That's how they promote it. See, you asked me, what is there to look for? How is Daredevil going to get out of this one?
It just feels like it's that thing, and this last thing is like you said, it's the typical Disney Plus thing. They put things out and they're like, deal with it. We move on to the next. They already, they got to work on Thunderbolts is dropping. Fantastic Four right after that, so they're like already, in full promotion
on to the
mode.
next one.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever. All right. This has been our review of Daredevil episode 5. Thank you very much for listening, watching, joining, sharing, and loving. We appreciate you and everything you do. We appreciate your support. Love and shouts to everyone who's been on forallnerds.com, who have been copping the luxurious merch there. Ben Hameen is wearing the Magneto is Right special edition there. I am wearing a brand new design. This is our Cowboy Carter, Cowboy Bebop crossover. Yes, that says Cowboy Carter in Japanese and katakana. So Please, again, go to forallnerds.com. Please get your merch because that's one way you can support the For All Nerds team. You can also go to Patreon, patreon.com/forallnerds, where you can become a proud member of the few, the proud, the many of the For All Nerds fan fam. You actually get access, and this is confirmed. At least one new episode, special episode, only for the Patreon fan fam at least once a month. You're also going to get access to different merch, different goods, different if we have giveaways, if we have screenings, you're going to get access first, stuff like that. So make sure you're part of there. And please, as always, make sure you're following, subscribing to us on every platform. For All Nerds. FORALLNERDS. And follow us on all the socials. Follow myself, Tatiana King, and follow this gentleman, DJ Benjamin.
Word up. And thank you very much to Phantom Comics and Multiverse Comics for having me this weekend. Well, the weekend that just passed by the time y'all hear this episode. So thank you very much for having me. It was a blast being there. It was awesome. Amazing event. Thank you to everybody who came out in Philly and DC. Love you all. Hey y'all, thank you for watching this For All Nerds video, whatever video it was that you just watched. Make sure you hit these buttons below. Press all those buttons, that like, that subscribe, whatever you see right below these fingertips right here. Just hit them, hit them, hit them.
For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.